Welcome to the Volkswagen SUVW postgame report. Here now, Liam McHugh.
What a night, an electric atmosphere, dueling dynamic quarterbacks, and some holiday cheer for Seahawks fans. They punched their playoff ticket. Final score, 38-31. As we welcome you back to Seattle. In the pregame, we built this one up as a magic show between two mesmerizing quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes certainly had his moments, but the night belonged to Russell Wilson, whose greatest illusion continues to be the fact that he has an ability to create something out of nothing. Remember, Seattle started 0-2, but since then, it looked like they were rebuilding. Well, they reloaded. Since then, they've gone 9-4, and now they are headed to the playoffs. On the flip side, you look at Kansas City, they were 9-1. They've now lost back-to-back games. They are 11-4, and they failed to lock up the division and that #1 seed in the AFC. More on the playoff situation in a moment, but for now, we get to give out some game balls. Begin with the offense. Russell Wilson, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, so elusive throughout the night. Doug Baldwin, his first 100-yard game of the season. And Chris Carson, Festivus feats of strength for him. Over 100 rushing yards today, over 1,000 yards for the season. Michelle is with Doug Baldwin and Russell Wilson.
Liam, thank you. Russell, you start the season 0-2. Everyone says this is a rebuilding year for Seattle, and yet here you are, you're back in the playoffs. What was the essential ingredient to the progression of this season?
It's not complicated. It's just hard work. It's just hard work. It's just belief. Every guy in this team believed, no matter what the circumstances were. We talk about having great faith. We talk about thinking big, believing big. Guys just making plays. We have so many great young guys just stepping up to the plate. Next guy up. It was remarkable. And when it comes down to it, crunch time, guys like Doug making plays. Guys like Tyler Lockett. It was a great game. And we knew we had to battle throughout the season. It's a journey, and we're still not done yet. We got a lot more to do.
Your offensive line was banged up. You still rushed for 200 yards plus, and you mentioned your receivers, Lockett and Baldwin.
Yeah.
How would you characterize what they did for you tonight?
They're unbelievable. They're as good as it gets in the game, and they made plays when they needed it. It's easy to make your layups and stuff like that. Those guys always do that. But when it's crunch time, that's where you figure out who's who. And we know what we got. We got Doug. We got Tyler. Those guys are special, and they're ballers. So they make plays.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys. Go Hawks.
All right, let's turn to Doug Baldwin. A couple of highlight reel catches. Take me inside your brain. What are you thinking as physically you're doing everything possible to make those receptions?
I got to get it done. It doesn't matter what the situation is, who's guarding me. I got to get it done. And true savages do that when it's prime time.
You told me earlier that this has been your most difficult season because of the injuries that you've had to battle through. So what does it mean to you tonight to have been such a big part of helping get your team to the playoffs?
It's more than words can describe. It's an emotional thing. I think anybody who plays this game at a high level and who really appreciates and values the game understands the emotion behind it when you put everything you have into it. And so just to be able to be out here and celebrate wins on the field with my teammates, that means more than a lot of things.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thanks, Michelle.
Liam?
Thanks, Michelle. Let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture. The Seahawks mentioned they punched their ticket. They could be headed for a matchup with the Cowboys, who are locked into the 4 seed. New Orleans secured home field in that thriller against Pittsburgh. One wild card spot still up for grabs. If the Vikings beat the Bears, they're in. If Minnesota loses and the Eagles beat the Redskins, that means the defending champs would get in. We head over to the AFC, where not only does Kansas City fail to clinch home field, tonight's loss also means the Chargers are alive in the division race. New England jumped back over Houston, now leads for the second bye. Pittsburgh's loss means they are out of the top 6 right now, and the Ravens have the inside track to a division title. The final playoff spot will be decided next Sunday night. It's the Colts against the Titans. Winner gets in, loser goes home. If you're looking for something a little bit deeper, as always, be sure to check out Peter King's Football Morning in America column, which can be found at profootballtalk.com. That'll do it for us. Al and Chris will wrap things up from Seattle next.
Welcome back to the Volkswagen SUVW postgame report. Here now, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Best thing you can have week 17 for us, it's the last game of the year, is the winner is in, the loser's out. We've got that game next week. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Two hot teams. I mean, Indy started 1-5. 8-1 down the stretch. Tennessee's won 4 in a row, longest winning streak in the league right now. A lot of stuff to talk about. Will Marcus Mariota play? Andrew Luck has had a great year. Looking forward to it.
Derrick Henry has been just sensational down there. And the untold story this year about that Colts team is the fact that their defense in the second half of the season has been second to none. So a lot to talk about. Looking forward to it.
And they stayed alive with that win against the Giants. So we thank our crew, Fred Godelli, Drew Escoff, as always. Boys and girls up here, Malibu, Kelly Hayes, George Hill, Andy Freeland, Melissa Horton, making it all happen. We're on our way to the Music City next week for Indy at Tennessee. Final score tonight, 30-31. Seahawks win it. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya saying good night from Seattle. Happy holidays. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.